wish that I could just wish away my feelings, but I can't.
Sand hurts my feelings.
I don't like sand.
Hurts my feelings.
Haunted by fake sand in my very soul. Sand. Are you suffering as much as I am?
Sand hurts my feelings.
Tormenting me. I'm in agony.
Sand hurts my feelings.
I don't like sand.
Hello, and welcome to The Sand Hurts My Feelings, a Star Wars podcast from a Swiftie point of view. I'm your host, Sarah.
And I'm your other host, Alex.
And today we're talking about Midnights and connections made with those songs to Princess Leia Organa.
Indeed. But how are we doing today, Sarah?
We are good. At the day that this is released is the premiere of Skeleton Crew, which is exciting. And
Y'all should go watch that.
yeah, it's good. But we're also then in our process of counting down towards the end of the Eras tour, which is bittersweet, as well as Taylor Swift's birthday and Life Day. So we've got a lot of things we're looking forward to.
Yes. No, yeah, Life Day's coming up. Because yes, that is something we can talk a little bit about.
Yeah.
Everybody usually celebrates Life Day on November 17th.
Because that's the anniversary of it premiering.
Yes, of the holiday special. I don't like that because I don't like a lot of the holiday specials get released before Thanksgiving. And I don't like that Thanksgiving gets ignored. I think it's a whole holiday and Christmas should not jump Thanksgiving. So I reject that. So we are going to celebrate Orthodox. We call it Orthodox Life Day, which is in December, and it's around December 17th. It fluctuates because we like to celebrate it on a Saturday so that we can spend the day and do things. So, but
yeah.
Yes, it fluctuates. So it fluctuates on the day, but it is around the December 17th.
Yes. Because some folks could say, well, it's Life Day and it's just celebrating like life and family and goodness, which I don't doubt that, but it gives off such strong Christmas vibes. And yeah, Alex and I in our household do not start celebrating Christmas until Thanksgiving is past. We want to acknowledge the separate holiday and give each holiday their moment and their due. So yeah, that's why we are what I say coming up here in December for Life Day. That is what I mean.
Yeah, so this year it's going to be on the 21st because we do it the third Saturday in December.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be nice because that falls on the solstice.
Yeah.
So
yep, we'll talk probably more about that in the next episode to just say like what we do and that kind of holiday stuff because we take our time with it. It's actually a good celebration for us.
And we do our annual watching of the Star Wars holiday special.
Absolutely.
Which I know can be
a lot of people will disagree,
point.
But nope, every year.
Mm-hmm.
I've converted Sarah on that, so I like that.
Yes. But that's another story for another time.
Another time, yes.
So
who are we? Are we Maz Kanata right now?
I would be so honored.
Yes.
So honored. But Alex, I would like to hear a little bit about your experience with Midnights, the album.
All right, Midnights. It was an interesting one. To say the least. This is the one that I think I experienced and was most connected in with with Taylor's like love life at the like because in the previous I'd been with her most of the time, but I wasn't like understanding or knowing or like cause following who she was with or whatever. And so with this album coming out, it was a lot of people, again, too much speculation in my opinion, because I'm just like, she writes what she writes and we'll know when we know and when she wants us to know, but everyone's just like, oh, what does this mean? Who's this about? And so it became knowledgeable more later, but it was an interesting return to her roots, or not roots, sorry, return because she'd left pop a little bit with Folklore and Evermore.
Yeah,
so this is a pop album. I would say I enjoyed a lot of it. It is not I would say, one of my favorite albums, though. Like, there's one or two, I think, on there that I'm like, this is really good and I love this song, but it is not one of my, like, favorites. Like, I love this album and want to listen to it all the time.
Yeah, because I was going to say, when we're picking Taylor Swift songs or albums to have on in the background as we're driving or cleaning, this isn't one you typically pick.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, I think, and this is one of the interesting, I actually think this is one of the albums where there's a good possibility of the 3 a.m. edition being better than the released, because I relate, or not, I wouldn't say I relate to, but I realized and processed Bigger Than the Whole Sky. It's
so powerful.
It's so powerful, and it helped so many women feel seen, because if you don't know, it's not openly said in the song, but a lot of women have used it as a believing that it's like she's singing about a miscarriage. And so it's none of our business whether but like the how raw it sounds and how raw she is in that song. It sounds like something she knows something, whether she had one, she knows somebody who's had one, like, and most people have, because it's like what, one in four women have experienced it, and
yes.
We don't talk about it.
No, we don't. And it erases the experience for a lot of people. Right.
And I totally understand that this is probably not the best of, like, a man is talking about this, but I'm trying to, it was so powerful. And, like, I personally know somebody and some people who have gone through that instance, and yeah, it's horrible. But, like, there was that, and then after, like, it kind of later happened after she broke up with Joe, she released "You're Losing Me," which is, again, amazing song. So yeah. So, like, it's a good album. So, but it's I think definitely, like, the 3 a.m. edition is more of what I listen to than the day of release, I guess.
Sure. I mean, yeah, and that. I can see that for you, liking the deeper songs. And Taylor is an empath. She is a storyteller, and I think that really shines in the late night edition, the 3 a.m. edition, because how detailed those moments are that she sings about.
Yeah.
In all of those.
Mm-hmm. All right. How about you?
Midnights is, I think, kind of like my first Taylor Swift album where, like, I knew about it and was following along with it in the release, because Evermore, as we talked, just dropped. So there wasn't a lead up to it. And I don't remember the folklore, but I was still early in my Taylor Swift fan.
It was a short turnaround. It's like a week.
Right.
Like,
it was early on, but this one, it was more traditional of, like, she's like, hey, this date, it's coming. I remember watching some of the videos of her announcing the song titles and some of those pieces. And I felt kind of weird about that, in part because I was just like, well, you should just keep it all a secret, because your fans are just going to try to dissect this and pick it apart. And none of us are going to be right, because, we're basing things off of, like, a lot of song titles on Midnight are one word. Or two words. And so it's like we're trying to base our ideas of these songs off of, like, one or two words. I remember listening to it and not liking it at first, because I was like, there's a lot of techno. There's a lot of voice distortion. Hi, Sabe. A cat trying to interrupt the podcast. And I don't care for that in my music a lot.
You have sensitive hearing.
I do have
sensitive. That's the thing to bring up, of, like,
I have sensitive ears and sensitive hearing.
Of, like, it's that kind of techno stuff kind of melds together, so you can't really hear it.
Well, right, and yeah, I was gonna say, in a normal situation, like, I do, in a lot of songs, I struggle to understand what artists are saying.
Yeah,
and so when you start adding in some of those intentional distortion pieces on top of how they normally sing, I can't understand what they're saying. And so then that takes me out of the song listening experience.
Yeah.
So I know my first go through, I was just like, this is so different from what I've heard of Taylor. And I wasn't sure how I liked it. But there's some of my favorite Taylor Swift songs on this album that I would easily put in my top 20, if not my top 10.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I love vigilante stuff.
Yep. Great song.
I love
Karma.
Karma. I really love Bejeweled.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Bejeweled is one of my songs that I have on kind of like my power playlist
Nice.
of like I need to pump myself up.
Yeah.
And that does it.
Good.
And I like Lavender Haze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So overall, I think I'm in the same camp as you, Alex. I like the album, but it is not my favorite.
Yeah.
It is probably. Oh, I'm not going to try to rank.
Yeah.
it.
Don't.
That's not what the point of the
That's not
podcast.
what this is. Yeah. But it's not the top. It's not a top song. Top album.
No. I did enjoy hearing all of the different versions of Anti-Hero because you had people remixing those.
Yeah. That
was a fun experience hearing how people played around with it.
And that's, I think, the first time she's done that. 'Cause she released like 20 different versions.
There
was a ton of them. So those were interesting. Because yeah, some of them were hits and they're really good. Some of them were bad. Yeah, some of them were bad.
Yeah, so I appreciated that of like opening the sandbox up to let other people
mix it out,
play around with it. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I can go first.
Yeah, let you go first because mine's sad.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I've gone first for a while. This one surprised me, to be honest. In part because Midnight songs are encompassing a lot of different moments in time and a lot of different feelings. But the song that I picked for Leia for Midnights is Labyrinth.
Interesting.
So Leia's mind is so complex, and she's strategizing for the rebellion and balancing her personal needs and desires along with that. She has to be 5 steps ahead and shoulders so much grief throughout her life. I think that this song speaks to her relationship with Han. She meets him in the midst of a war and unfathomable loss, but he still wants to get to know her and to make her smile and to be with her. And I think this also speaks a little bit to her relationship with Luke, because she trusts Luke right away. And I think that's, she feels something in the Force to be able to trust him so quickly. We find out they're twins later on, spoilers, but there's that connection that she has with him. And she learns that she can trust both of these men and be open and care about them, and they care for her. So kind of going line by line, it only hurts this much right now was what I was thinking the whole time. Breathe in, breathe through, breathe deep, breathe out. I'll be getting over you my whole life. So for me, you can pick your loss you want here. Alderaan, her parents, the war, her comrades, and the rebellion. She's going through so much loss all the time.
Yep.
Then the song continues, you know how scared I am of elevators. Never trust it if it rises fast. It can't last. Leia is cautious because she has to strategize. But she clicks with both Han and Luke right away. And so then we get to the chorus. I'm falling in love. Oh no, I'm falling in love again. Oh, I'm falling in love. I thought the plane was going down. How'd you turn it right around? So for me, both Han and Luke turn things around for Leia in different ways. That both of those relationships prove to her that there are people in her corner, even when she, is alone in a cell at the Death Star. And that both of these men can help her break out of the cobwebs and keep her in the moment and focus on what really matters in fighting for the rebellion and then in the future, the resistance. To me, it's also an oh no, because in trusting both of these men, she's opening herself up to more loss because she is letting both of these men in and loving them. Then we continue on. It only feels this raw right now, lost in the labyrinth of my mind. Break up, break free, break through, break down. You would break your back to make me break a smile. I think that's true of both men. They want to lift Leia up. And then the pièce de résistance in this song for Leia is, you know how much I hate that everybody just expects me to bounce back just like that.
Woof.
Yeah, like in my notes, I have this capitalized like 3 times because it's just, she gets no moment to grieve. We see a small slimmer of that in The Last Jedi, of her grieving over
Ben.
well, just grieving in
And
general,
Han,
but it's
yeah.
so brief, and she has to turn it right around, and you're back in the battle, and all of those pieces. And I mean, that is the burdens she has.
Yep.
And that's what's all going through her mind, the labyrinth of her mind.
Fantastic. That was a very good pick. I did not think of that at all, but that's a really good pick.
Thank you.
Good job. So we can also now jump back in, because remember last episode, we introduced our fan that we've met at Twin Cities Con, Kalia, and she gave us a nice her thoughts on Midnights.
What was her pick for Midnights?
For her pick for Midnights was "You're on Your Own, Kid."
Oh,
but especially the bridge. So I'll read off the bridge. From sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes, I gave my blood, sweat, and tears for this. The jokes weren't funny. I took the money. My friends from home don't know what to say. I looked around in a blood-soaked gown, and I saw something they can't take away, 'cause there were pages turned with bridges burned. Everything you lose is a step you take. So make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it. You've got no reason to be afraid. You're on your own, kid. Yeah, you can face this. And so Kaylee says that she did give her blood, sweat, and tears toward defeating the Empire. Her friends from home are deceased, so they can't say anything to begin with.
Oh, way to be dark.
Yep.
Come to our side.
Yep.
Come to our side.
She saw some things that they can't take away. She has literal combat experience. Nobody can take away the things she had to see and go through. All the bridges burned led to new chapters in her life. She lost everything just to find a new family, literally. She's on her own now, but she can face anything.
I love that.
It's a great pick because it's, to me, that's a great pick because it's a bit dark, but also like there is that piece of like she can handle it. Like
it's the hope.
It's the hope piece again. Yeah. What did we get? Hope.
Yeah.
Star Wars is hope. Yeah.
Yeah. That you fight and struggle, but there's always hope, and she can do it.
Yeah. So very, very good pick again, Kalia.
All right. What was your pick, Alex? You said it was sad.
It is.
Should I grab a
tissue?
A tissue or a cat for support here?
Maybe a cat, because mine's the Great War.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is a Star War.
Correct, but where it gets sad is what it's about, and this is Leia reaching for her father, Bail Organa, and fighting for his memory and what he stood for.
Alex, why did you go there? No,
I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought I knew this, and this
nope,
is like
you did not.
Sadder. No, okay. All right, go. I'm braced. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm great at the dark.
You're so dark.
I'm so dark.
Okay, please go.
So to start us off with some of the lyrics, all that bloodshed, crimson clover, sweet dream was over. My hand was the one you reached for all through the Great War. So Bail is always trying to set a good example for his daughter and wanted her to stand up for what's right, but also make logical decisions. In Leia, Princess of Alderaan, he reprimands her for saving a few refugees because she goes to a planet and she's like hates looking at all of these refugees, and she's flabbergasted that they're not being helped. And so she's like, I can't believe my father's not helping. I can't believe anything like this. And so she lets them onto the ship and she saves them. And he reprimands her because he's like, yes, you did save a few of these people, but now there's going to be reprisals on the planet from the Empire. And reprisals against Alderaan for defying the Empire. And so he's like, I have been trying to help this planet, but like I have to do it within the confines of this system or not do it so openly, because we learn later in that book that he's started the rebellion, but like she openly goes there as a representative of Alderaan and takes people back. So so there's that. Then I have more lyrics. Always remember, tears on the letter. I vowed not to cry anymore. If we survived the Great War, you drew up some good faith treaties. I drew curtains closed, drank my poison all alone. So he was constantly trying to solve problems diplomatically and getting shot down by the Empire. And Leia continues this in her own life, but is also shot down so much that she finally has to leave the Senate in the New Republic because it was so corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
You said I had to trust more freely, but Diesel is desire. You were playing with fire. And maybe it's the past that's talking, screaming from the crypt, telling me to punish you for things you never did, so I justified it. This is Leia continuing to fight for the memory of her father and the lessons that he taught her while trying to fight for the betterment of the galaxy. He always wanted her to see the best in people, but it was hard when he was around and even harder when he was gone because he was not there to guide her. She also held him in such high regard that she almost feels betrayed that he is not around anymore. This happens. This is talked about in Bloodline, where she's like, I want him here. I have to fight for his memory, and I can't believe that he's not around.
Yeah.
And then she fights the expectations that she puts on herself to honor the memory of her parents. And so she has to fight those things. So, yeah.
I'm glad you brought in Brea and Bale. But yeah, that's rough.
That's rough. I'm sorry, everyone.
But Star Wars is tragedy. Taylor Swift tells all the stories.
Yes, she does.
Right, Subby?
Of course, she's now not talkative. She's interrupting everything, but not going to talk now.
I was going to say, like, she's purring, but probably not loud enough that the mic...
Oh, is she purring? Okay.
Yeah, she's purring, but probably not loud enough for the mic to...
That's our cat, Sabe. I guess we haven't talked about her or Solo or... So, Sabe... we should probably save that for next season because Sabe lines up with Padme very well.
Yeah. So, but that's a tease. So yeah, we have 2 Star Wars cats.
Yep. We could probably talk about Solo. This is again.
Sabe, you are really not helping here right now. Okay.
So yeah,
but our next episode will be looking at Leia in TTPD, the Tortured Poets Department, and all glorious 31 songs, and trying to pick one for Leia. Talk about a challenge.
Yeah, that is a challenge. I would also say then, if you want to get in touch with us, you can use Instagram Threads or email or Facebook. And Blue Sky. We're on Blue Sky now. So Instagram, and Threads, we are the Sand Hurts My Feelings pod. You can use the hashtag LeiaTSTTPD if you want to send any information, any of your thoughts through Instagram, or you can send us a DM. You can send us an email at the Sand Hurts My Feelings pod @gmail.com. That's what Kalia did, and it's great. Then you can also find us on Facebook at the Sand Hurts My Feelings podcast, and we are Sandy Feelings on Blue Sky. So yeah, this has been a great season, and we're excited to wrap it up, but we're having a blast, and we're excited for season 2.
We are. I can't wait to talk about Padme. So,
happy holidays, everybody, and may the Force be with you.
Forever and always.
May the Force be with you.
Forever and always, yeah.